Hello, my name is Renata Rae from DreamSpire TV. Do we have a treat for you today? Absolutely. I am so excited. I want to bring you Ellia English. Now, you might know her as Aunt Helen, but without any further ado, let's talk to Ellia. Let's find out what she has going. Hi,
Hi. How are you, my beautiful Renata?
I am fine, and you look amazing. I am so
Thank
excited to talk
you.
to you about the things that you have upcoming, the things you have going on. And so I understand this is the 12th year for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes, can you believe it? 12 seasons. And he's saying this is the last one he's going to do. And I am grateful and just I feel just a pleasure to be a part of season 12 because I had to step away for a minute to go from the industry to go home and take care of my mom. And so by the time my mom passed away, she transitioned in 2020. Praise God, it wasn't COVID that took her out. It was her choosing that it was time for her to go. And we were blessed. I was blessed to be able to take care of her for 2.5 years. And I'm grateful for that. But when I came out after 2021, when I was really trying to just decompress and experience the fact of the loss of my mom and decide what am I going to do, get back to me and see if this is what I still want to do. I ended up going and celebrating with my sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho. I got to give them a shout out. uh, into at our 100th centennial in Indianapolis. And I did a couple of workshops there. I got to just be able to be a part of something bigger than myself and just really minister to some of the children. And that's when I knew, okay, I think I'm ready to come back in. And when I got back home to Georgia, that's when I found out that Curb Your Enthusiasm was looking for me. So everything was timed as it should be. And it was season 12. And I said yes. And I'm happy to be back as Auntie Rae Black.
That you were able to step away and to come back.
Yeah.
Now, I read about the show and how that it is in an improv setting. Now, how was that? Now, coming back, did you jump right back into that improvisation?
Absolutely. When I remember when I first got on the set and I started seeing all the familiar faces, it was as if I never left. It was like a family reunion. That's what it was like. And we were hugging on each other and loving up on each other and happy to see each other. And then when it came time to get down to business, I mean, we took off as if we had never stopped working together. So it was great. It's improv. It's like having your own backyard playground and you can play on every toy that's there, and we just work off of each other, we feed off of each other. And just the most important thing though, Renata, we've got to make sure that when they are funny, we have to stay in character and we have to make sure we stay focused so we deliver whatever it is we're going to say next so that we don't ruin the scene or ruin the take. But it's exciting and I'm happy to be back.
Probably leave that to the professionals because I would be laughing. It would be no no way that I wouldn't be splitting my side every day. So you get to work with people like Jay Smooth and Vivica Fox. How has that been?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was wonderful. We arrived at the Larry David house. Larry and his wife Cheryl decided to adopt a displaced family or like a hurricane. It was kind of like on the heels of Hurricane Katrina, right? And so they wanted to adopt a family. And so they adopt the blacks. We're called the blacks because my name is Auntie Rae Black. And Vivica was my niece and she played Loretta Black. Leon was my nephew who played, Leon Black rather is my nephew. And that was played by JB Smooth. And then I had a grandnephew. His name was Daryl and it was played by Nick Nervies. And then my grandniece, it was Keisha, and it was played by oh gosh, Carla Jeffrey. And it was a wonderful, wonderful cast, a wonderful family. But here's the secret about JB's character. Now, JB, the Leon character, my nephew, he wasn't brought in like the rest of us. He was already living in California. But when he heard that his family had moved in with Larry David, he moved in too. And he's the one who never left.
I love it. I love it. That is so amazing. Now, most of us, not all of us, but we know you as Aunt Helen forever. Okay. Forever. That's who you're going to be to us. I know
I
you've taken
love it.
on plenty of other roles, but you're Aunt Helen. How does it feel to be associated with such an iconic role?
Oh my Oh my goodness. Just even you saying that, I didn't even, I never even thought of it that. The icon for me, it was a privilege and still is an honor. Remember, I grew up watching Garrett Morris. I got to play Garrett Morris' wife. Come on. And then I watched Jamie Foxx. I saw him in Living Color. I saw him on Rock when he was playing a wonderful character on Rock. And then I saw his HBO special where he was playing the piano. And I was like, oh my goodness, one day I've got to work with this guy. I mean, it's just, it's wonderful. And it just felt so real for me. And I just felt like he and I needed to work together. And of course, that's what happened. It was manifested that I got the audition, that huge open call for the Jamie Foxx show. And I believe I was the youngest actress that was up for that particular character. And I didn't think I was going to make it because all of those other older actors were making me think I wasn't going to get there. But when we got down to that final call of the ones, the different people that they were really seriously considering, I'll never forget my audition. And I went in to read. And this time I was reading with Jamie himself. And we read the script. And he said, okay, we're going to do the script part. But then after that, we're going to come off script. And that was one of the times where in an audition, I got to actually do some wonderful improvisation with him. And we were following each other. It was like the most beautiful dance that could happen. And even then, I wasn't sure that I got the role. It wasn't until after I'd, gone home and was feeling like, oh, I don't know. Well, maybe I'll have something else, that I got the call from my agent. And he was like teasing me and making me feel like I didn't get it. I was like, oh, okay, it's okay, but I'm sure we'll have something else. And he said, no, 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 I have something I need to tell you. And I was like, well, what is it? And he said, yes, you got the role. Well, of course, I started screaming. I started crying. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, please, if don't tease me, if this is for real, please let me know it's for real. And it was for real. And to go in, work with Jamie Foxx, work with Garrett Morris, work with Christopher B. Duncan, who played Braxton, and Garcelle Bouvet, who played Fancy. I mean, and then we had a plethora of actors that came through. And one of my favorites, of course, they had asked me, Ellia, what actress or performer would you really want to work with? And I guess that was at the time they were looking for the character who was going to play Aunt Helen's sister. I never told them who it would be. And it actually was Gladys Knight. And that's who they hired. Because when I was growing up, Gladys Knight reminded me of my older sister. And I love and I still adore my older sister, even though she's transitioned since. But Gladys, and then Gladys and I became such great friends. And that was a blessing it was wonderful to be there. We were like a family. And it's still to this day, my heart is warmed and I'm grateful of how many people and how many generations are still being able to watch it. And it makes me feel honored to have been blessed to play that character. So I'm not going to cry, Renata. You're not going to get me to cry, but thank you. And I'm appreciative of that.
That's
Thanks.
good. Now, I want to know the first thing, okay? Since we're going back, who was
Okay.
the first phone call you made after your agent told you?
Of course, I called my mama. I called my mommy and I told her, and then I told the rest of my siblings. And, and they were like screaming with me and shouting. And then at that point, it was like, I didn't want to tell anybody else because I didn't want to jinx it. I had to wait then until we were really doing it because anything could happen between the time they say, that you've got the role. Something can happen. The show won't go or the show doesn't get picked up or things like that. And I'll never forget, I was actually working on another project, a theatrical project there in California when they were getting ready to shoot the pilot. And I remember I had to say to them, we didn't have understudies. And I was like, you got to get a replacement for me because I have to go in and I have to shoot it. They didn't believe me. They didn't think that I was telling the truth. And when I called them and said, I have to go in today because we have to shoot the pilot, and then we're going to be taking photo shoots and everything after that. And it was, oh gosh, yeah, yeah. Thank you for taking me back down memory lane for that, because I haven't thought about that in a while. Except for, yeah, whenever I do the interviews, but each person takes me further and further into that experience. Thank you.
That production, Dreamgirls in Long Beach, I did hear about that. I did my homework.
Yes, you did. Now, no, that was when I first moved to California. That's why I moved to California. I had landed the role of Effie in Dreamgirls at the Civic Light Opera in Long Beach, California, and it was a dream. And I wanted to come to California, but it was like when I first moved to New York, because I moved to New York, I was like, what, about to be, I think I just turned 19. And before I left, you had the naysayers saying, oh, you're not going to make it. It's hard to make it in New York. And I wouldn't go to New York if I were you, da 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 da. But I decided I wanted to, pursue my dream. Well, of course, I was afraid and I was scared, but I was going to go ahead and I was going to do it anyway. And I did. And I went to New York, and I ended up eventually landing a role on Broadway in the Ain't Misbehavin' musical, the Fats Waller musical. So when they were telling, the naysayers were like, well, you can't go to California. If you're gonna try to go, you're gonna have to at least have 6 months worth of savings so that you can live off of that, because most people don't even get work. Sometimes it takes a whole year before you can even get cast in anything. So after hearing those types of stories that were making me not, anxious about going there, I decided, well, what I want to do is, what if I were to go out working? And since I do theater, because that's how I was working in California before I moved there, I did a production called, oh my goodness, it was Annie 2. It was called Annie Warbucks. And I was performing at the Pantages Theater in that one. And so a couple of agents came out to see it, and casting directors. And before I left, I was able to book a few things. And so I stayed, because that was our last leg of the tour. And I stayed there and I performed in Empty Nest, I think, and a couple of other ones. And the casting directors were like, Ellia, if you move out here, we can get you so much more work. And so that's what really put it in my head that I wanted to move to California. And so I ended up auditioning for the Long Beach Civic Light Opera's production of Dreamgirls. And I landed that role of Effie. So thank you for doing your homework. But that wasn't an easy role to do. I was sharing with another young lady that the one thing about doing that role of Effie, I had to learn how to detach myself from when we immerse ourselves in those characters so much. And her life story was so intense. And when we got to that part where she's, saying, you're gonna love me. And when we do that, that's when the stage is being pulled back, and I'm out there in this my most vulnerable moment, and I'm still there, and then the curtains close, and I have to take a deep breath, and then I have to decompress and remind myself this is not my life. And I was like, God, I never want to live this experience. I never want to live this experience. And so that I did that for 8 performances a week. I can't remember how long we were there. I think we were there for maybe about 6 to 8 weeks, I think, of doing that performance. And it was wonderful. It was great. So thank you for asking.
So you were booked and busy back in the day. I love it. I'm actually from Long Beach, so of course that.
I love it. See, I love it. That's how you knew. I know you were saying, I was saying, you probably weren't born by the time I was doing the Effie role there, so you didn't get an opportunity to see it.
Well, listen, don't let the melanin fool you.
You're gorgeous. I love it.
Thank you. So, wow, you have such a rich history, and you're still booked and busy. Tell us about what you have coming up in this new role. I heard a little bit about it, but I want you to tell people about My Sisters and Me.
Okay, My Sisters and Me. It's a half-hour comedy about 3 generations of ageless, vivacious Black sisters who must live under the same roof without killing each other. And I play me in My Sisters and Me. I'm the youngest of the three sisters. And oh my goodness, can you imagine that you've been living alone for a while? You finally got your bossy big sisters out of your life and you've developed a life for yourself, but now they're moving back into the house and still wanting to be the boss over you. So those are the experiences that I'm enjoying having my character go through in that project. And we're on Thursday nights, and we're on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, and it's at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if they want to find out, you can either type in Ellia English in My Sisters and Me, or you can go onto my Facebook page, which is the Ellia English, the official Ellia English page, or you can go onto my Twitter, which is now called X page, and that's called the official Ellia page as well. And then my Instagram, however, I have to name it Queen Ellia, because before I ever set up an Instagram page, someone else had already set one up in my name. And I learned about it when I was filming Underdog Kids, when all the children were coming up to me saying, "We're following you on Instagram and we're following you." And I said, "But I'm not on Instagram." And I said to them, "I need to talk to your parents and I need to talk to them now." And I said, "Please get them off of that site because I'm not on Instagram. And I will let you guys know when I'm on Instagram." Well, I had to go through, contact Instagram. And so I wasn't able to create the Ellia English Instagram page because that page I think is still up. They weren't able to take it down. So I'm on Instagram as Queen Ellia. That's my Instagram.
All right. So we're definitely going to let people know where they can connect with you. And I want to watch because I'm not the baby, but I'm in the middle of three sisters. So I get it. I can't wait. I'm sure I'm going to be able to relate, and so many other people will be able to relate to that. It's been amazing. It has been amazing talking to you. You're definitely like that, a sister friend. Some people are just instantly sister friends.
Amen. Yes.
So check out the 12th season.
Yes, that's
seasons.
Right. 12 seasons.
This may be the last.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Sorry for cutting you off, but it's on Sunday nights at 10 p.m. streaming on Max. So yes, go ahead, Renata.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Absolutely. You want to catch that. And you want to see My Sisters and Me. And who knows what else might be coming up for you. I can't wait to see. But like I said, you will always be Aunt Helen to us. But we love all the things that you're doing. And thank you for taking the time to be with us today. You have an amazing day, as we always do here at DreamSpire TV.
Awesome. Thank you.